Hi, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Thought this would be my last live of 2023. I can't believe we're here. Oh my gosh, the time went by so quickly. We're live on TikTok and on YouTube. My hair, I'm just noticing my afro is uneven. So I'm just going to fix it with you guys because it's going to bother me the whole time we're chatting. Okay. That's as much as we're going to get into. Okay, hello. I'm so excited. Um, if this is your first time here, hello. I'm Shika, and I'm a medicine woman. And the intention I have for this video is really to just deep dive with you guys and share with you how I can guide you, how I can support you, what's in our world here together. And if there's your first time us meeting, or maybe you've recently started following, I thought this would be great just to reintroduce myself, but then also to just like go deep into talking a little bit more about what I do so you can kind of know. Because I feel like one of the biggest advice I can ever give someone is when we start to want guidance from other people is making sure you find the right person that aligns with you, right? And that's one of my biggest things why I'm so intentional with a lot of the work I do, is to make sure that, one, we can support you, the astral team and the unseen team and my guides as well as your guides want to come together, and it feels like an aligned match. And I trust that those who find this, it's an aligned match. Those of you in my community, you are an aligned match. And it can be sometimes when there's so many things going on and so many different amazing offerings, it can be like, which one? I want to do all of them. So I hope that you can feel the excitement of it. I hope we can get to know each other more, and for me to just get to share a little bit more. And if this is your first time here, let me know in the comments where you're located, rainbow emoji, your sun, moon, and rising, if you know them. And maybe just like, what is your intention right now? Like, as we end the year, we start to think and reminisce about the year. As I'm recording this, we just finished our Sagittarius new moon. We're going into the Cancer energy, our last full moon of the year. And I was like, ooh, what great way then to come on live and just like deep dive, channel with you guys, connect with you, and share a little bit more about the offering. So I'm really excited, and just what I do and how I'm meant to support community, what was channeled to me, how Spirit wants to currently in this present moment work with me to be of service for the collective. And if you are someone that is in service of the collective, let me know down below. So let me just share a little bit more about myself. By the way, if you guys can like it, subscribe, notification bells, it does help the channel a lot. And share with whoever you feel that resonates with this. So I've been in this journey for 7 years. I've talked about this on my videos a lot, but I haven't really talked about the story. I have I think it's my first videos years ago, 4 years ago. And I came on and I talked about, it was literally a video for me of like opening my throat chakra. It was really for me to share my story and to share and I feel like where I was at recording it till now is completely different. So I want to reshare the story as to how we are connected on this online interweb, and what is my story maybe gives you an idea of like why why we mirror each other, right? So and my little womb tea. I'm about to be on my bleed. So we got womb tea that we've been doing for 3 days. She's about to come today or tomorrow. So let's thank you, womb tea, for that and bringing that energy here. So I started my journey 7 years ago. It wasn't a journey that I wanted to start. Like, I want to be a healer. I want to be a master. Like, that's not how my journey started. And I don't want you guys to think that way either. I went through a very traumatic experience at work, and it left me out of my body. I can go back to the time when I was like driving it was a work trip, and I was literally out of my body. What happens when we go through trauma is our soul leaves the body as a way to protect ourselves. We don't actually process it, right? So like, these micro traumas, those micro times when we have it, and those big traumas. And I feel like everyone has experiences. Let's remove the word trauma. When we have things that shock us, or things that are, that feel like shame, or feel like guilt, or feel like those lower frequencies, these icky energies, and a big event that comes to initiate us. Yet at the time, we feel like, why me, right? So that's where I was at. I was like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why are all these things happening to me? And at the time, I was in a relationship, and this trauma affected me. This physical trauma affected me so much that I wasn't able to hold myself. My partner couldn't hold themselves because they were going through so much as well. Like, it actually opened up something that they never talked about. And it brought a lot of anger inside of me because I felt like they weren't able to show up the way that I wanted them to. And now I understand that they couldn't hold me. They just couldn't hold me. They weren't in a space emotionally to hold me. And we both reacted in that relationship. So fast forward to countless therapies, lots of therapy sessions. I went for maybe a year in therapy alongside with meditation. I was meditating at the time. I was Googling ways to move out of PTSD, ways to move out of, traumatic dreams. And I was in that space. And after telling your story again and again, and this is something that I always tell people about healing, knowing your story, living your story, being your story are different things, right? I just want to share this with you. So you can know that you went through an experience, but you might have not necessarily emotionally processed it, right? And you can tell a story, but you can tell the parts of it. You can tell it every time. You can be partially numb, right? Or you can be reactive, or whatever emotions come in. And you can put pressure on yourself as well to feel like you have to be where you were before. And the thing is when these things happen to you, they are initiations for you not to be who you were before, but for you to be completely different and to actually be who you are meant to be. And it sounds cheesy, but it's true. It brought me to where I was meant to be, from this woman that wanted to be, the CEO of a company and the first Black woman as a company, and all these rhetorics, educational and millionaire and all those things. And I was just in that masculine energy that I thought was feminine, which all of us, no matter your sex, are in that energy where we're just in this masculine. We think we're in the feminine, we think we're in the feeling, but really we're numbing ourselves from our whole reality of life. And that's what I had to look at. I was like, I'm numbing myself from my whole reality of life. This car that just hit my soul had to wake me up to get out of what I thought my life was supposed to be. And it started much before that trauma experience. What happened is when that happened, it opened up so many things I didn't process. It was overwhelming for my body. I ended up finding out I had endometriosis, and my physical body was in chronic pain all the time. I had insomnia, PTSD. I was depressed. I had anxiety. You name it. I had all of that. And at the time, they were actually trying to put me on medications, as they do, right? And it was numbing it. It was actually, my body was rejecting the medications. It didn't want the medications. It didn't want all the things that was coming up, and all the essence, all these things that were just like coming up. And my body was just like, get it out, get it out. You need to get these emotions. Telling it your story again and again in therapy isn't necessarily healing it, it's telling it. And for anyone who's a therapist, I think therapy is beautiful. I have a therapist, but it's used for one part of the story, right? It helps heals one part, right? So if you go to the gym, you're working out your physical body, right? But we have the emotional, we have the spiritual, we have the energetic body. All those parts of us is completely disregarded. So what happens is then we feel like we're healing here, we're healing up. It just feels all over the place, and we feel overwhelmed. We're like, oh, what do I do, right? So this brought me down my path of tuning into various elements. I started doing more meditation. I did more crystal healing, angel numbers. If you guys have been my OGs, you've been here since the beginning. That's how I started on YouTube. That's how I started online. I started to go into angel numbers, and I was hiding it a lot because I came from a PR world, marketing world, a world that's very vain, like being around a world where you're around celebrities and you're like working on how you look, and the way that you're supposed to be, right? And who you're connected with. It was very, very external, nothing internal. My whole internal was numb, right? So to have something to completely unnumb something and be like, what do I do with this? I haven't felt this in years. I was just, what do I do? Right? So I started doing meditations, and then it brought me to Reiki, which I know a lot of people know about Reiki right now. I am a Reiki master today in 𝐾𝐨𝐬 and 𝐸 I'm a master in both. But for me, I see Reiki as a tool. That's why I teach it as a tool. Those people I've initiated in Reiki, some people maybe end up not, using it. Some people want to do it as a full-time thing. That's up to them, right? So every person is different. So I started doing Reiki, and then it brought me to my trip in Bali. And I'm sure you guys have watched the movie Eat, Pray, Love. If you know what I'm talking about, put a little, what do you call it? Dove emoji in the comments, and let me know how you feel about that movie. For me, I that movie is like, I'm on my mood cycle. It just brings me to nostalgic to that period of time, and I'll tell you why after I take my sip of my tea. So so I saw Eat, Pray, Love, and I was just like, wow, this woman, even though it's a movie, right? But there is some truth in it. I was like, wow, she just wanted to travel the world. And I love traveling. That was something that my mom really instilled in us, was to really see other people's cultures. And by the way, guys, I did happy. I don't have a cold. I just sat in ceremony. So for those of you who are like, oh, Shika, your nose. It's just, I sat in ceremony. So, so then I went to Bali, and I was like, I'm going to do the trip. I'm going to do the trip. That was the biggest pivotal point for me. Traveling teaches you so much outside of yourself, because especially when you're alone, you're not relying on someone. It's just like, for me, like, I feel like if everyone traveled, people would be more empathic. That's my thought, because you'd be able to see other cultures outside of your own town, your own city, and it would really bring you to understand more. And that alone is a spiritual experience, right? So fast forward to me booking a trip to Thailand, going to Chiang Mai, going to the temples, and so much was happening. And I was just like, what's going on, right? And then I go to Bali. And one of my friends told me before the trip, who lived in Bali for some time, she was like, Bali always has gifts for you. And I'm like, okay. Like myself, like, ooh, okay, whatever. Like, it's not like I'm going to have like a full Eat, Pray, Love experience as I sip my tea. So what happened was I got there, and from the moment I touched down, from the moment I was over the city, honestly, it orchestrated before that. So many things started to happen. I got to the airport. My flight was 30 minutes delayed. And I was like, ooh, okay. Like, so I get there. I had a driver, and I was worried. I was panicking. Me and my masculine, I'm landing on a feminine, like literally portal land. And let me tell you, she will teach you. Bali, Mama Bali will teach you. And I get there, and I'm panicking, and I'm going through everything, getting my luggage. And I get there, and the driver is smiling. And it's this beautiful, amazing spirit Balinese man. And he's like, welcome to Bali, and gets my bags. Such a masculine, takes care of me, brings my bags to the car. And I'm sitting in the car. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm in Bali. I'm doing the whole like Eat, Pray, Love thing. It's happening. Like, your girl's doing it, you know? So I get there, and it was dark that night. I got much later. It was after almost midnight. And we're driving, and it's about 40 minutes from the airport to my accommodation. And as I drive and I look at the window, and we kind of got lost, but there was a point where I saw this third eye on a piece of concrete. I looked at it, and I said, okay. And it just caught my eye. I didn't even think about, I wasn't looking for it. It just caught my eye. And then we finally found the place. It was dark, so he literally dropped me off, made sure I was in. The next morning, I booked a hostel. The person above me was from Belgium. I had to go to Ubud the next day because that's where my next accommodation. Turned out he had a motorcycle. Again, divine universe was holding me in this whole process. He's like, I'll drive you. No worries. I was like, let me pay your gas. No, okay, I got you. Again, masculine holding me to be my feminine. Was I rejecting? I was like, no, I don't want to be. No. I was so like telling the story is crazy how much I rejected receiving help from people. Like, there were people on the lands, locals, people from all over the world wanting to hold me. But I was just still like, no, I can't trust anyone, because that trauma I had, that experience, was the masculine violating me. right? And all I know is violation of the masculine. So I was like, what is this? No, I have to keep my guard up. I can't trust. Don't know what's gonna happen. Hey, Lynetta. You're like, oh, I don't know. What can happen? Right? So drives me to Ubud. It was the most beautiful trip. We went through the rice fields and I was like looking at all the beautiful ceremonies and the offerings by the road. And I was just like so cultured, like, wow, like something just like shook me, was like, this is prayer. This is living. This is consciousness. This is essence. I was just like, what just happened? So we get to Ubud. And then when I get there, I meet a woman who's a Reiki master and she's traveling. And we, of course, travel for a lot of our trip and we go to the islands and everything. And it fast forwards to the end of my trip. And I was like, man, I've been asking everyone to have the whole eat, pray, love. Where is an authentic healer that I can sit and do? And everyone was like, Ubud, Ubud. Get there. All the locals are like, don't go to Ubud, go to 𝐥𝐤𝐤. I was like, 𝐥𝐤𝐤, it's the most touristy place. Why would I, in my world, especially now, I just got back last year, Bali's changed. So if any of you guys want to travel to Bali, now is the time, because it's changing more and more. And I was there 7 years ago, I think. So it's changed more and more. And anyway, so then what happens was I get there and I book a nice little Airbnb by the beach in 𝐥𝐤𝐤. And I was like, okay, we got 3 days before you hit your flight to go back home. We need to have an experience. And I just kind of gave up. I was like, at this point, I'm just gonna be my feminine. I finally learned the lesson at the end of my trip. And I found, literally a 15-minute walk away from my place, this healing space. So I messaged them on WhatsApp and I say, hey, I'd love a healing. I'm flying out. Is there any possibility? Oh, we just had a cancellation. What? We just had a cancellation. And are you able to come tomorrow morning? I say, of course. Yeah, that works for me. So I booked my session. And the next morning I walk, and I'm walking through the rice fields and seeing everyone waking up and doing their offerings. And I get to the main street where it is, and somehow it was a celebration that day for the Balinese. So the temples were open. They were all dressed in these beautiful, beautiful traditional Balinese outfits, and they were praying and singing. And I was walking through the crowd, and it felt like almost like a prayer for me before my session. And I was just like, wow, what did I just walk into? So I start walking. And after I pass it, I kid you not, my flip-flop breaks. I have like less than 10 minutes to get to this healing session. I'm like, this can't happen to me. We're 500 meters away. There is no way that I'm going to have my flip-flop break on me right before I not have my whole eat, pray, love experience. So I'm like, I look at my flip-flop and I go to my left and I see this very small, it's almost like a 7-Eleven, I guess, but like a local version. Very small. Like you wouldn't even notice it. You would think it was just like this little, like, looked like a shack, essentially, like a shed. It didn't look like a store. So I went there. I was like, my intuition was like, go there. So I go there. There's this woman, her mother and her grandmother, granny, like auntie energy, and they're there. And I was like, do you have a flip-flop? And I'm holding my flip-flop. And like we didn't interact in English because they didn't speak much English, but they were like, yeah. So we get there, finds out they have one flip-flop left in their whole shop and it's my size. I'm like, what is the coincidence? I was meant to go on this thing. So I put my flip-flops, they wish me well, send me prayers off to my healing. And I get to my healing. And as I walk over, I see the same third eye that I saw at the beginning of my trip. And I'm like, what the F is happening? What the actual F is happening? So I get in, and the moment I get in, my whole body, the energy just comes in, and I'm on the verge of crying. Mind you, I haven't cried since I started therapy. Therapy numbed me for me. I was telling my story, and eventually I was like, this isn't working. And I just started to numb. Like, I was like, let's just say the story and not really connect to it. And I started to feel my eyes tear up, and I see my beautiful, who is my teacher, one of my teachers now today. I'm so grateful for her. And she comes in and she's like, come sit down. And I sit down. And the moment I look at her in the eyes, by the way, we have the same birthday, same signs, everything. Look at her in the eyes, I see myself. And I just start to bawl. I can't even talk. I'm hyperventilating. There's so much coming out of me. My energy is just like, I start to feel like I'm like, what is going on? And she's like, we're going to just jump right in, go into the healing. She goes over the whole process. I lie down. I went through what was supposed to be an hour and a half session. Moved 200 pounds of my energy, more than I've ever had an experience before, ever. And mind you, before that, I went to the temples of water, which is a very sacred temple there in Bali. People from far and near come there for healings such as cancer or fertility, and there's miracles that happen. So it was like that purification to go into that healing after, it just went straight into my being. And then I left, and I remember going to my favorite cafe to get food to go back. I slept 17 hours. After that healing session, I slept 17 hours, right? Sometimes I have sessions with people. They're like, Shika, I just lost 15 pounds in 1 week after doing one healing with you. And I'm like, your body's been holding all that emotion. You didn't even know that you were holding it, right? It's crazy. People are going out there, they're working at but you're missing the piece. It's all parts. It's mentally, emotionally, physically, all elements. And if we're only focusing on one, our body gives somewhere else, right? So we don't fully balance the whole, harmonize the whole essence of ourselves, right? So that brought me to a huge journey of what I felt was like, this is what's going to heal me. I didn't go, this is what I want to do and heal her, right? There is this ego that I feel like that people need to be aware of. And it's not that our fault. We see it. I've done it, where we just associate and be like, okay, I found this healing for me, so now I have to heal everyone else. Don't put that pressure on yourself. You start the journey for yourself. And in doing that, you weave that. And my most powerful teachers aren't teachers that call themselves healers and go out there, right? You know, today's world, I'm online and whatnot, but even there's a lot of things I don't share. There's a lot of my healings I don't share. You know, I'm just starting to share more because people are like, I'm curious about it. But even that, I sacred share. I don't share everything because for me, you don't need to tell anyone you're a healer. You don't need to tell anyone you're a psychic. You don't need to tell anyone you're a medium. You don't need to tell anyone that, right? There's the business aspect of it where people say, make sure you niche, all that stuff. And I talk about this in my Earth Dharma, how to tastefully talk to and support your community to share your voice, but not in a way that's just like promoting and thinking like, I'm here to heal you. No, you're a guy. Get that ego. No, it's a little sneaky, right? We're not here to heal you. Your savior space, right? I had to move from that because I thought, wow, this is amazing. I want to help everyone. Let me just help everyone. But let me tell you, my journey taught me that I couldn't just do that. I had to work on myself first and continue. It's not a state, right? And know that, you know, there's no difference of spiritual, non-spiritual. Because I'm doing this doesn't mean that someone doing therapy isn't doing their spiritual work and healing. I needed to move that out of my mind and not judge that, right? So this brought me to going into Reiki. I started getting initiated Reiki 1 for myself. I wanted to heal myself. And at that point, I think I was actually already initiated Reiki when I got into Reiki 2 after that. And then I started to do a lot of work with my teacher, like long distance. And then from there, that rippled into medicine work. And then that medicine work was like, oh my gosh, this is literally in my bones. This is an essence. This is something that I feel this intrigue this. So I started to do a lot of herbal medicine, working with my womb, healing my womb naturally, which I'm so grateful. I don't even relate to the word endometriosis. That's not even something I am anymore. That's where I am at my journey. Like when people are like, hi, yeah, I'm just like, that was me, but that's not even who I am now. Right. And that's the thing. It's like, we need to remember when we're telling our stories, when we say I had, or I have, right? Or I had this experience where blah, blah, blah. You are now attaching yourself to that story. There's a difference between bypassing and attachment, right? It's attaching it from a space where we feel like we are that, right? And what that's doing is we're creating this connotation that this thing is dragging along with us, right? And I had to see what I was attaching and dragging along with me in my life through plant medicine experiences, through healing, through all those stuff. So that's my story that I want to tell you guys where I'm from and like where I started my journey, so you kind of know, because you know there's so much out there, and you know, take what resonates, take what doesn't, and if it doesn't resonate with you, that's cool too. Like you don't have to resonate with my story, you don't have to resonate with my energy, but for those that I feel like will or are curious about my world, I do want to be true with you and share with you who I am, right? Because you're going to share with me who you are and share with me some very personal stuff. So, and that's what I love. I love being able to create that safe space for you so you can share your truth, so you can walk in the path of understanding why you're here, right? My journey is evolve, and my evolving also evolves with the people I serve. And that's why I feel like it's so necessary to share, how can I help you right now? You know, these offerings that I'm sharing about, like, what are they? Like, how, what are they going to do? How are they going to support me? And this is where this intention transitions. So for me, through that process of me starting my journey, I ended up being a Reiki master. I am a certified 𝐾𝐨 practitioner. That is frog medicine. I do serve that in my ceremonies. Frog medicine is very potent. I have a whole video on what 𝐾𝐨 is if you want to go check it out and you're curious about it. But 𝐾𝐨 literally was part of I started to connect with it to help my endometriosis and my chronic pain, right? It was no intention to be of service and medicine woman. It was, again, just to be for myself. And in doing that, 𝐾𝐨 really chose to have me be in service. And I was like, oh, okay, like, I guess this is it, right? 𝐾𝐨 is a Philomedusa medicine from the Amazon known as they call it the Amazon V. I'm not going to say the word because online they tend to, this whole, like, what do you call it? What's the word? It's like right there. Just remove things that certain words that I'll say, censorship, right? So I can't say all these things, but anyways, Amazon V, right? So the thing that we got, other people got, I didn't get it. But all this to say is that when people are having this experience, right? What it does is it removes through the lymphatic system. It helps with Lyme's disease, cancer, HIV. It helps with lymphatic, hormonal balance, menopause, harsh periods that you might have. It can also help with grief. It can help with pain. It can help with mental, emotional, depression, anxiety. The list goes on. This medicine, I've seen it help multiple things, right? I've seen it heal things that people say is not meant to be healed. And I'm so grateful to see it witnessing it. I've seen miracles in my ceremonies and in ceremonies I've sat in. So for that, I'm so grateful for. So now I'm grateful to be of service to this medicine and share it with the world. And I get my medicine directly from the mat. I have a deep relationship with the way that I get my medicine, the way that I serve my medicine. I'm traditionally taught. I'm not taught just one way. I'm taught multiple ways, and I'm still continually curious of, like, how are different ways that I can learn to help support people who have different elements, because I don't serve each person the same. And those who've been in my ceremonies know that. So that also brought me to recently assist more with Aya retreats. And that's something that's new to me, something that, to be honest, is nerve-wracking, but I've been with Aya for quite a while. She's been with me probably even recently after my Bali trip. So it's been years I've sat with her, multiple ceremonies. And I've recently been invited to by her through also very beautiful facilities to support. And I'm so honored to be able to support whatever way that is, even if it's just to hold space. So yeah, that's something that I'm doing. I do song, I do 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞, I sing, which is literally songs that heal the body, certain medicine songs to heal the body. So I do that in my ceremonies. I also work with somatic healing, acupressure. So working with the somatic, working with ancient methods that they've used for thousands of years. That's what I'm trained in. So it's very ancestral. It's very elemental. It's coming to the root of the thing. I'm not just surface level, like, I have a headache. Okay, we're going to go beyond the headache. We're going deeper than that. For me, I get to the root and we work inside out or outside in or together, going into the middle of where we need to heal. We reconnect that essence of our being. And now I've had the honor to teach other souls how to tap into their gifts, working with the elements in nature, and to guide them through that. I wouldn't even say teach, I guide people to do that. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit more about me in a nutshell. I do a lot other stuff, but past life regression, inner child healing. There's a lot that I do, but over the 7 years. But that's the midst of what I do, and to give you an idea of my expertise and the teachings I learn. A lot of my teachings come from the Caribbean, from South America, from Bali, Indonesia. These are the places that I learn and I teach the most, as well as Afro medicine and Afro Caribbean, and the deep essence of that. So yeah, I just wanted to share that part. Now let me go into how to support you, which is all about this video. Now that we got into all the warming up and getting to know each other more, and please share with me how are you feeling. Like, maybe there's something you resonate with. Oh, Shika, oh my gosh, yeah, I totally resonate with you, what you just said. Please tell me. I want to know. I want to hear from you. Okay, so please let me know. So I have multiple offerings, but the reason why I'm also sharing this in this divine timing is because right now I am making it in a way that it's more accessible until January 4th as I record this. And I want to share the celebration with you guys. I originally was going to share it on later in the year, but I was like, no, let's share it now. It feels really good. I just got out of ceremony. I was sitting with like this tree that was filled with butterflies in the sun in silence. And I was like, this feels good after ceremony, watching everything just alive. And like, I want to pour this into you. I want to pour this element. I want to pour this medicine into you and share with you from my heart what each intention and what it's all about. So let's start with the retreats because those ones are the ones that I've been talking about a lot. And I do serve medicine retreats. And medicine retreats are something that is really near and dear to my heart. I work with various medicines during my retreats. They're not all the same at every retreat, depending on location and space. But I do work with Kambo, I work with mushrooms, I work with herbal medicine, I work with various medicines. But whatever medicine wants to work with that group, that's how I work. Every person that goes to my retreat, you can go to the same retreat every year. It's going to be different because that retreat is given to support that group. I receive from divine what this group needs to help within your intentions you share with me. And I'm in service of that. That's how it works. And I work in a way right now, what feels really good is doing small groups. I don't do 20, 30 people for the type of retreats I do in medicine. To me, it doesn't make it personable. I want it to be group enough where you can feel community, where you feel connected, where you feel like you can make new friends that are aligned with you. But I also want it enough where like I can give you a little bit of every person's going to have a ceremony that's going to transform them, and to gauge that, and also to keep an eye out for bypassing or the sneaky ego for you to receive that love, to receive the best and the most from these retreats. So we have one retreat. This is the retreat that I'm co-creating and collaborating with, and I'm so excited for it. And I've been sharing it for a while. So this is the Costa Rica Heaven and Earth retreat at the Heaven and Earth Sanctuary in Costa Rica, in Chiripo, which is literally a portal. This space is a land portal. And I'm so excited for us to receive the medicine. When you get there, you're going to actually learn from the owner itself, like how it's gridded by crystals, gridded by the location, where it is in the world, and why it's there to help the collective. And you get to be in ceremony for from the 1st of February to the 11th. So for 10 full days in this beautiful space. And I have the honor to be able to collaborate and to be co-creating with Colleen Ariel, who is amazing curandera. She's been working with the OGs of curanderos for over 15 years. And she's the one person I have come to again and again. And I love how she is for multiple reasons. One, she really allows interactiveness in the ceremony. You don't see that a lot. She brings that interaction and singing, and it's like bringing a live music concert into your ceremony experience. I also love the fact that she goes and does her work with you, tools on the light body, the physical body. She has healed so many people. Her testimonials are unreal. And I've been in ceremonies sitting with people who've had cancer, people who've had very deep past experiences. And by the end of the next morning, they look like a completely different person. And being someone who sat with multiple people in ceremony, I can say that person with Colleen, like the work she's done, her medicine, because everyone's different, her magic is beyond anything I've ever witnessed. So it also, one of the biggest things is she creates a safe container. When you're going into these realms in this deeper work, it's so important that the facilitator is creating a safe container. That's something that's really important to me in my work, is creating a safe container for my clients and also for my medicine ceremonies. And she also sees eye to eye with that. So it was definitely like a full body yes when she approached me and invited me to co-collaborate with Clarity, with Marine, with all these amazing people that are going to be coming together, weaving this voice activation, weaving these elemental healing with Aya, Kambo, breathwork, yoga, a voice activation, psychosomatic therapy, Woo, thanks. So much deep, deep medicine. And you get to sit in 4 Aya ceremonies during this experience. So the abundance that you will receive, along with delicious food from the lands, the waterfalls directly there to work with the water elements. Every element is present in the space. The beautiful Maloka reaching out to the waterfalls. You'll be in ceremony feeling the energy of it. That is the retreat. So you also get after support with Zoom calls where we come together, we integrate together. And yeah, it's going to be a very profound healing experience that you will not be the same person. It is literally connecting you to the cosmos and your physical body to be in direct connection and source to receive whatever healing that you need in your life. And I feel like that to me is the deepest prayer that can come to you, right? So if this is something that feels resonant, if you feel in your body, you're like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting to sit with Aya. I've been waiting to sit with Kim. I've been waiting to go to Costa Rica. I've been waiting to be in a ceremony retreat like this. This is fully feeling in my body. Yes, 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 yes. I invite you to go into it, right? I always tell every client that's about to do not only my world, any space, you're gonna have resistance. Your old self right now is like, why am I doing this? Some of you might have resistance. Some of you might be like, yes, it's a full body yes, Chica. Like there's no resistance at all. We love that. That's great. You know, you're ready. And maybe some of you don't feel ready, but your soul's like, come on, I have your hand. Let's go through the portal. We got this. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you to this. And we're gonna go into this. And it's gonna be a world you've never experienced. The sun just came out. That you're gonna see through the light, right? And it's going to be that potent, that beauty that's going to come for you. So I hope you can feel the energy of it. And we have currently 2 spots available. So if you're interested, here is how you can register for that. Down below, you'll see my link tree. You will also see the Costa Rica retreat. You can then add yourself to the Facebook group, and you can message Colleen personally. If you don't have Facebook, excuse me, woo, let me know. Email me. If you don't have Facebook, let me know. Just email me and I will keep an eye out for my email, and my team will send you the link for how you can send it to her and everything. She also has her testimonials on there if you feel like you want to dive deeper into her medicine. And she recently just posted this beautiful video. I'm going to blow my nose, so give me a second. Okay, sorry. I was like, don't want to do that on there. So blow my nose. We're all human. When I'm channeling, holy moly. If you guys have been here, you know this happens. It's like this my third eye goes like it's just whoo, every once in a while. So yeah, if this is something that you're interested in, let me know. You can just message me or you can go to the Facebook. If you don't have Facebook, that's okay. You don't need to have Facebook to get access. Just email me and let me know and you can register. Registration closes at the end of December. Okay. So what a beautiful gift to yourself during holidays, if that's the case, or for your birthday or for next year or for just yourself. Like that's what you need. If that's what you're going into, like, wow, this is profound. You're going to be so held. I'm so excited for you. Now, the other 2 spaces you're going to be so held and given as well is retreats that I'm hosting, and they're going to be in beautiful Portugal, in the mountains of Portugal. And this is happening in the spring. Oh, and I've been to this retreat center and I loved it so much. I said I had to bring 2 groups here next year. It is so beautiful. So we're in Valdemos, which is 3 hours away from Lisbon. My favorite thing, if you've been to my retreats, you know, guys, I look for the beautiful magical portals that not a lot of people go to, because for me, I don't decide the location, spirit does. And they somehow bring these beautiful spaces. And this place is given the ancient wisdom that has been erased from Portugal. We are literally in a space of history while we're doing healing and ceremony. This is a place where a part of you is always going to be back in Portugal, and you're always going to remember this. I will always remember Portugal. Like I'm getting full body goosebumps, even though I have the fan on. It just got on. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the medicine that is here is like beyond anything that I've ever experienced. And I can't wait to share it with you. So we have 2 retreats, both of them very different, even though they're in the same location. Okay. And there's a big announcement I have for you guys at the end of this. So stay tuned out of all these offerings as well. So the first thing is the activated goddess retreat that's happening on March 20th to the 27th. It's a week retreat where you are going to be deep diving into your feminine energy. This is specifically for the womb, those who are womb carriers. This retreat is specifically for this. One thing that I haven't talked about is I am a certified womb medicine healing woman. So I've worked with somatic for womb healing, for fertility, for painful periods, for those who've gone through trauma, for those who maybe feel disconnected by their womb. This is something that I'm very I've had many years in experience of that because I myself have gone through it and I myself have studied it. And I've been lucky to now pay forward and give this in a space of such a beautiful, sacred space. So in this retreat, we will be going through connecting with 𝐾𝐨 medicine to really understand our womb, to really understand our axis of our activated being and healing what's here. And, I've had someone who had a hysterectomy, I'm not saying the word, that they were like, I don't know if I can do it. And I was like, yes, you can. I don't think you understand that when you go into menopause, you become the wise womb. A lot of people don't talk about that. Menopause is such an initiation, just like motherhood, just like your first period. It is an initiation. And a lot of people don't talk about that aspect. So we go through basically bringing you into womanhood. Like that's what the essence of it. It's bringing you into the activated woman goddess that you are meant to be, to step into this world, to step into this space, and to really embody what is here for you. And whether it's maybe a partner that you know or yourself, like this is something that I feel like every single woman needs to have this experience and ceremony. We used to do this in the indigenous times in red tents all across the globe, where we would bleed together, where we would sing together, where we would hold each other, where we would support each other in postpartum, birthing, motherhood. You weren't doing it alone. What do they say? It takes a village to take care of a child, but it also takes a village to hold a woman, right? You don't have to hold that alone. And when I started to not hold and reject the masculine, reject the world because I thought I was shameful to receive that, I didn't deserve that, my whole world became my abundant being, my most aligned life that I've ever experienced. And now I want to share that with you guys. So you experience this through 𝐾𝐨. I do 2 ceremonies. However, if you've been in my ceremonies, you know that if 𝐾𝐨 says you're not done, I still serve the medicine and I do it in flow. Even though we have a structure, it changes because your energy changes. You change from the morning to the evening to every moment because so much is moving through you. So much is shifting. The woman you were when you land on Portugal will not be the same when you leave. And that is the intention. It's to completely bring you to this space of awakening, to this space of I'm here, to this space of I'm alive. I am here to receive. I am here to receive all that is for me. That is what is here. So you're going to receive that through 𝐾𝐨. We're going to be doing a plant medicine ceremony in the stars, in the mountains, in the spring with the smells of the flowers rising above as you emerge into yourself like the flowers in the lands around you. You'll receive a yoni blessing. You'll receive a love bath. You'll receive breath work, somatic healing, tuning into mother wounds, father wounds, where you've suppressed emotions, being held in sisterhood. This is the awakening of the feminine woman. This is what's meant to be. So I believe that everyone should receive this. And, I had one woman who came and she said she's had painful periods. She's had to take triple the amount of medication her whole life, her whole 42 years. And after our ceremony, she had the most easiest period. She didn't even notice she was on her bleed. That's how easeful it was after this ceremony. I had another woman who said, I can finally be myself after my divorce. I had another woman who said, oh my gosh, the person I broke up with, we're the love of the life. I was rejecting that person my whole life. I was meant to be them. They're my soulmate. These things happen in quantum leaps. And it was so beautiful to witness that, to celebrate that, to receive that. I had a mother come in, I'm here for me. I'm not going to make life hard for me. I'm going to take that time and boundary for myself so I can be the best mother and the best person I am. I can't forget who I am. The things that every person went through in the same portal brought these people from all walks of life in one space to see each other as a mirror and to awaken their feminine and to come back to what they're meant to know, which is yourself. So you can feel the passion I have in this. And there's so much that's going to be weaved in this. You do get an information session before that we have an orientation where we get to meet each other before we join in. And I go over everything to prepare you, like the dieta and like everything, the protocol, all of that. And then I also have an integration call about a month after for us to all come together and share about the things that are happening. Any questions you have, you're held in that. If you feel like you want more one-on-one, I also am going to offer that one-on-one support as well. So how beautiful is that? Okay, let's talk about the second retreat, the ancestral retreat. This one's potent. For me, a lot of us are not connected to the elders of which we are reincarnated. I saw this beautiful picture of every time a baby comes into this life, earth plane, an ancestor is come forward again and they celebrate. And there is I feel a disconnect. Have you ever asked who were before you? How did they get to the lands that they're in today? Do you know the history of your migration of your family? Do you know what they walked through, what they experienced? Do you know their story? Do you know what you're holding within that? And there's a lot of things in the shadow work that I see that's ancestral that repeats itself, and we don't know why. We just always know it as it is. Or maybe we feel disconnected from our family. Maybe there's that curiosity to know questions and you can't ask. This is where the unseen gives you those answers. So on these very ancestral lands where the people who were on these lands, who farmed on these lands, were told to be forgotten, are now reclaiming in this unseen world, and you are also reclaiming your ancestral. That is potency. This is you not only clearing karmic debts and healing that, it's to understand who you are. How are you the reincarnation, the DNA, the essence, the energy on this earth plane, a walking ancestor, a drum of the heart of your ancestors, and how to connect to that with the elements again, to come back to your truth, something that might have been wiped away from colonization, something that was wiped away from pain, something that was wiped away from being the other side of that too, not just the colonization, but that other part too. Maybe there's some shame there. We talk about all ends. We all have to come together and heal together. I had someone who said, well, because of my past, my experience, 2 years ago with one of my retreats, they said, oh, I don't want to trigger other people because my family has a history of colonization. And I said, you need to be in that healing. This is something that we all have to heal together. There's no separation, right? When a lot of indigenous believe when there's one problem that happens, and we go over that because I will be going over constellation therapy healing, which is a very potent one. It can take hours sometimes to do this. We have a half day that we do this. This is literally a life-changing thing because every person in that retreat is a mirror of an ancestor for each person. It's mind-blowing. So we get to do this experience on this retreat where you get to witness and see, where did this happen? This specific event, this emotion, why do you have this relationship with mom, with dad, with siblings? We go into one line and it can go back to the time that your ancestors started. That's how far. Remember, I did a ceremony the other day with someone and it went back to 7 generations. We could have gone further, but they were like, I need to integrate this. I said, that's okay, let's come out of the field. And I'll go over all this stuff in the initiation as well when you're going through that process and that ceremony. But it's understanding, the story of what you walk on, who you are. Why did your soul choose this body in this family? There's a reason. There's something that is needed here for you to receive and to understand, and you will receive that here. This retreat will be doing 𝐾𝐨 ceremony as well, but specifically for weaving and understanding our rhetoric within our stories that we hold of our ancestors, how we see our stories, getting into the truth of all, connecting to heaven and earth, again, in that essence. And then we're also going to be doing breath work, somatic healing, ancestral constellation therapy healing. That's one of my favorite to hold in the field. And integration. We'll be also working with other medicines, and we'll have a plant medicine ceremony as well. So this is the beauty of this essence. This is the beauty of this work. It's if you are someone who feels the call, the knock of your ancestors, the curiosity, the wanting to go deeper, and you are maybe the karmic breaker for your ancestors, and you know that, show up and celebrate with them and work with them and heal, not alone, but together. And this is going to be something that will ripple when you go home. You're going to notice a shift in your family because they're also in ceremony with you in the energetic realm. I've seen it. I had one person who went to the ancestral retreat last time. They said that they didn't talk to their mother. They left the retreat. Their mother was the first person that called them and checked in on them, and now they have a beautiful relationship. And another person on the ancestral retreat that was a wanderlust, was going all over the world, running away from their family. And they said, you know what? Today's the first day that I actually want to go home and hug my mom right now, hug my dad, and be with my siblings. I had another person, hey, that went to another retreat and to the ancestral retreat. And they were literally the rock for their family's grief. And I said, now that they left that, they're like, I feel like I'm falling in love with dancing again. And the traditional, Hawaiian dances that are part of my lineage, I have something I need to share. And this is why I gravitated to competitive dance all my life. It was something that was engraved to me in my ancestral lineage. And now I can do it intentionally, not to be perfect, not to look beautiful, not to be this certain thing. It's to be who I am. This is why I'm here. I'm here to dance into the bones of my ancestors and myself, to speak every word of existence of truth. That is the power of the feminine, the women in my lineage. I was goosebumps. Goosebumps. So you can feel the potency of this retreat. And, again, it's I don't know if I told you the date, from April 20th to the April 27th. It's a week as well in Portugal, Val de Mosh, same beautiful retreat, 3 hours away. And yes, we're going to have food during these retreats as well, and nurtured, beautiful, delicious local food from the farmers. And that's important to me too. Like, you are clearing your body, what you put into it, and how you integrate outside the world. I go over all that as well. We go over integration. We have an orientation at the beginning and an integration group call at the end. There's other supports if you want more one-on-one support as well that I offer for those who go to the retreats. So yeah, that's the beautifulness of this retreat and the essence. I hope you can feel the thump, the drums of your ancestors on the feet, on the ground, and feeling that essence and that energy. They're here, they're calling you, they want you to show up. So those are the retreats that are currently happening. There is one that is a retreat and training that I'll go into. But if this is something you feel called, you're like, Shika, yes, now I know more about it. I feel the energy of what this is calling. And again, there's more that's in here. This is just the depth of it. I add more of what I've learned from multiple lineages throughout. I'm servicing you in this essence, and you get an opportunity to receive both in the group essence and a little bit more individual as well throughout this retreat, because of how intimate this group is. You also get to go home with people who get to see you, maybe more than even family members, that you've told things that you've never said before. There is something that opens up in you. So you can apply down below TikTok. You guys can go to my link in my bio. And how you apply is you fill out the form. This is important for me to get to know where you're at in your energy and your essence, okay? For this retreat, what I'm going to be doing is having you just fill out for the activated goddess and also the ancestral retreat. You can just fill out your form. I go over a medical form in that to get to know and see if you can sit with the medicines. Some medicines you can't sit with it. They can be contradictory if you are on certain medications and so on. So it's important for me to get to know that. If I'm on a medication, does that mean that I can't go? No, not necessarily. You would just have to let me know what medication that you're on and what exactly is that medication for as well. So it would support you. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to share that. I have someone coming. I'm going to just pause this, guys. I'll be right back. Someone's here. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm currently in the island of my family, and someone came to drop by. So just have to let them know. Okay, TikTok's good. We're here. Cool. We're back. Awesome. So where was I? Retreat. How to apply. So one of the things for the retreat, like I mentioned, is to fill out the form. Once I've sat with your application, this is so important for you to really go deep into your heart and be like, okay, this is what my intention is. I'm going to ask you what your intention is. If you've experienced anything like this gives me an idea to really get to know you. And once I sit with the application and really connect with your guys and my guys, and we're like, yes, it feels good, my team or myself will get back to you and say, hey, this is what you do to hold your spot. Okay. And there are payment plans, so you don't need to do it all in full. The great thing I love is like the earlier that you decide to lead into this space, the better it is for you to make it work, right? And knowing how important is it for you to be with your ancestors, how important is it for you to connect with the I Am Medicine or with 𝐾𝐨 or with sitting with yourself and doing this for you. What is the importance of this intention? Because the moment you apply, things start to move because it's preparing you for what you're about to see. So look and notice as I think of this and I'm like, I want to apply to that retreat. What's going on? How is Spirit asking me to look in? What is the downloads I'm receiving? Am I receiving it? Am I rejecting it? Is there resistance? These are all things to keep in mind to allow you to come back here, to come back to self. This is my deepest prayer for everyone, because right now there is a lot of stuff out in this world, as this isn't new, that makes you feel like you're not you, that makes you feel like you are disconnected of self. Like there's ways to avoid who you are. Now, for those of you who stayed till this point, I have a beautiful offering I'm offering for those that I want to pay for it at this time. And this is something that came to me, and I feel like it's very supportive for you. So the Costa Rica retreat, that is something that is Colleen's. I'm supporting as a guest. So if you're interested in that, like I mentioned, I already talked about this. For the Activated Goddess Ancestral Retreat, I have something I want to pay forward to my community. This is something that I feel like is important to me, and I try to do it as much as I can, because for me, it's crucial to make sure that I can offer this to every person in this world. Okay, so I am offering until January 4th, apply and also to confirm your spot for the Ancestral and the Activated Goddess Retreat. Usually the energetic exchange for this retreat is $28.88. Okay, that's usually the amount that it is. For this retreat, until the 4th, I am giving it for $22.22. I'm offering this energetic exchange. There are payment plans. You don't have to pay it in full. You will still get the 22 out of 22. What this retreat includes is food, 𝐾𝐨 ceremonies, everything within you're taking care of when you get to the retreat. The only thing it doesn't include, because I got this question from someone who applied, is transportation. So your flight there, your flight back, and getting there as well. It's really easy, honestly, to get there. Like as far as like, it's pretty easy once you get to Portugal. It's so easy to get around. I love Portugal. Like, I'm being biased, but I love Portugal, and maybe it's just me because it's the part of me that has the past lives in Portuguese places, but I love Portugal and lived in Brazil, for those who don't know, for some time. So for me, I love it. But yeah, it's really easy for you to get around, and you'll be taken care of. I'm going to go in the orientation how to get to the center as well. Like you'll be good. Okay. Even if it's your first time flying, oh my gosh, Chica, don't worry. We got you. Okay. We're here to support you. So all that beautiful goodness, and you get the vegan food, it includes the orientation before, and also the integration call we have together after as a group, and so much more. So many other surprises. So for you to register for that, you would have to apply and have your acceptance done and everything confirmed before January 4th. Okay. That's the first surprise. If there are spots still available, because I'm starting to get people coming in. So if you're thinking about it, I would say, like, don't apply in a space of urgency. That's my biggest thing with any of my offerings. Please do not apply in a space of urgency. Apply in a space of neutral, meditate with it, sit with it, be intentional with it, because the more intentional you are, the more that you receive in this retreat, right? The more that you will receive in any of these offerings. I'm always ceremonial with things. You'll notice that even at the end, I always tell people when you've done and you've confirmed your spot, go do a ceremony with nature. Go and sit with nature. Say, hello, spirit, I'm ready. Thank you for bringing this to me. I'm ready to receive and prepare for the ceremony. And the preparation begins. Okay? One thing I have to say. Stay hydrated, y'all. Okay, let's go with the next offering that I want to share of how I can support you. Let's do a little check-in, even those who are watching the replay. How are you feeling? Hello, hello. How are you feeling? I should have brought some mints. I love mints. They're fun. Okay, so let's go into the next offering. Which one will I share first? Let's share the Divine Dharma Training Retreat. This one I've recently shared. A lot of questions on it. I'm starting to get applicants in, and I want to talk about it and go a little deeper, because I'll be honest with you guys. When I share it in my videos, I'm like, I want to go quickly because I want to just get to us talking about the moon stuff, and I quickly share it because I want to like respect your time. But I want to sit and really share with you guys so you can get to know. This specific training came to me in the midst of my initiation in Brazil with my current students in Earth Dharma. You guys know that I have an Earth Dharma training program. It's closed currently because we have the new students coming in and starting in January. If that's something that maybe you want to work towards or something you're interested in, you can just add yourself to the email list so you'll know when the next application is. I don't necessarily do it every year. I've been told that every time I open it, it's depending, right? So I might not do it next year. I might do it. Who knows, right? But if you want to know more about that or other things, you can go into that. I'm a little down. I'm sending you some love. So let's tune into Divine Dharma. I just finished doing a breath work, Kundalini activation. Kundalini is that serpent energy, life force energy in your spine. I was so lit, and it was probably day 4. I want to say day 4 of the initiation. This day was a potent day. I think it really, I want to say, humbled my students because, and we all get that. I've gotten that too with my teachers. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really don't know anything. I'm like, but that's a humbling space, because then from there, you're just like, I need to stop thinking I know everything, because you ain't going to know everything when you do healing. If you put that mentality, you're going to put so much pressure on yourself. Please don't do that, right? We learn, it's evolving, we're continuously learning. That's okay, right? So they had a really deep experience. They're like, oh my gosh, there's so much that's coming up. There's so much medicine that I need to like tune into. And I get to my window because in my hut, because we were in the off-grid, in this beautiful hut's in Brazil, the beautiful rainforest, there's windows in my hut, okay? And there's all wood. So on this window side, I used to meditate all the time. So I'd sit there and I'd meditate, and I'm sitting there and I'm meditating. And something tells me, open your eyes. And I'm feeling full Kundalini. My whole serpent in my spine's like she is like Shakti, so she's going, and then I open my eyes, and I kid you not, this beautiful yellow belly, this color of my dress, green, snake. She comes and and I was just like in awe. I was like, oh my gosh, you were literally on my window. I gazed for 5 to 10 minutes. I kid you not. She meditated with me, like felt my energy and visited me at my hut. And, I've never seen her. What she told me, she wasn't dangerous or poisonous. And when I asked them, they're like, oh no, she's good. But, and I asked her already, and she was like, no, I didn't come to hurt you. I just came to say hello. Right. And I always say, when we fear things, it's one of the things is like, if we're meant to die from something, this is something that Bufo has taught me in my ceremony. If you're meant to like die from something, you can't avoid it. It's just going to happen. We're all going to die at some point. This is something that as a continuous reminder when I do healings is like, we need to take life not so seriously, like just shake it off a little bit. Okay. Anyways, I digress. So the snake is coming. And as I close my eyes when she leaves, I see a new door. Now, something you might not know about me is every offering I have is a door. So it looks like this hallway door that I receive, and I open it. And when I open it, I see what is coming, or sometimes what is meant to be. And this is the first thing I'm sharing with you guys. This is just to show you the intimacy of how deep these programs are meant and created. So I see this vision of this thing, and I was just like, my whole body was convulsing, of not in a bad way, not like, woo, like more of like, oh my gosh, this is insane. This is beautiful. I don't even know what to do with it. Let's leave it at that. Let's just integrate. So I integrated. Then we had our next ceremony the next day. And a lot of what they shared in their integration confirmed what divine Dharma was meant to be birthed and how it was meant to be birthed. Okay. So your girl, let me tell you what she did. And there's going to be a surprise as well after this. So stay tuned, y'all. Those of you staying for the whole thing, you're really receiving it. So what happened was basically I had this vision of people coming back and connecting with the drum of their hearts through the wisdom. I don't know why I get emotional talking about it every time I say that. Through the inner heart, how do I say this in words? You know when you know something, you can't even say words? Let me grab my words. The geometry of the heart connecting to the inner wisdom of the ancestral guardians of the ancient indigenous beings. So it's like weaving in the truth of divine through the trance of the drum. So as I was sitting there on my second day after the ceremony, I hear the drum, boom, 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 boom. And I can still go, I'm closing my eyes, I'm there. And as I'm closing my eyes and I'm receiving this drum, I'm like, I'm not playing my drum. It's not my drum spirit. It's an elder's drum spirit. So I'm sitting here in ceremony, in the honor of ceremony on the lands of the indigenous First Nations. And I'm sitting there around the fire and I'm closing my eyes and I'm just receiving this channel message. And I'm like, and I'm quiet and I'm in this space with all these beautiful chiefs. And I'm just listening. I'm not saying anything. I'm humbled to be there. And I'm watching with them. And they said, close my eyes. So I closed my eyes within what I'm seeing. And when I saw that through the fire, I saw divine Dharma. And they said, this needs to be birthed. So I took that blessing with a feather that they gave to me. And this is divine Dharma. So what divine Dharma is, it is, I say training because it's training yourself how to heal yourself with divine. It is for souls who want to go deeper into learning how to heal with the lands and divine and to listen to what is here, because we are constantly getting messages. I've been on this chat with you guys, this powwow with you guys for what, over an hour, and I've felt so much weaving. I hope you can feel it, but I feel so much coming through. I feel this deep prayer of sharing with you. And when we can hear, things are clearer. We can get out of our mind. I just saw a white butterfly. I've been seeing it a lot. So it is, I'm receiving it. Seeing it so much, I'm like, so divine Dharma was birthed, and I listened to that. And what divine Dharma is it's on the lands of the indigenous. Specifically, it's important for it to be here in so-called Canada, because I don't consider it Canada, but so-called Canada. In the Algonquin lands. And in the Algonquin lands, and why it's in this space is because there's a lot of things I've seen in ceremony of forgotten tribes and all over the world, and tribes that, including ones directed from my indigenous lineage in the Caribbean, that do not exist, some of them. And understanding that when we can weave and listen, we're not only listening to divine, but we're also listening to the divine of those who might have not been able to walk the earth plane. And when we can hear that, we hear their prayers and we can pray together in unison that ripples into the collective beyond the earth. And that's what I saw. And I hope I'm with you guys on this. So the deepest prayer that I have for divine Dharma for you and how it will support you is to be in healing and to listen to divine and to really understand how to trust the process, to get out of your own way, to tune into each element and to introduce the deepened relationship of each element, fire, air, water, and earth, to see that weave into every single day and to teach you how to bring that into your day throughout that. I'm going to teach you how to start opening in a deeper way what we like to call the heart open way. And the heart open way is what I was taught by an indigenous elder in Peru, in Cusco, one of my teachers. And one of the things is the heart needs to be open to see it all. When the heart isn't open, you are in darkness. You can't see it. And that's true. So right now, a lot of people have their eyes shut because there's so much that they're trying to close your heart on. And it's like, no, we're not going to close our heart. We're going to open our heart to see what we need to see the truth. That's something that we need to do, but we need to understand what is hiding our heart. Divide. How do you divide yourself from people? How do you not open your heart? Where is their lack of trust? So there's a story there that we need to weave into. We have open space to have that. So as we're on the Algonquin lands from June 16th to the 24th, so about 8 days, we're going to be sitting in the beautiful space. This is close to a reserve as well. So the prayers are going to be going to the indigenous there. On the lake, on over 100 acres of land, in a beautiful straw cove home. So not only are you in there, but you're sleeping in earth. You're around earth. You're around waters. You're around so many things that are weaving with you. And in that, we're going to learn about smudging and smoke and fire element, how to smudge properly. We're going to learn about tuning into your intuition deeper and what blocks your intuition, what blocks you from your gifts in that space by listening to the divine. We're going to learn about how to sit with the heart medicine 𝐾𝐨. One thing I didn't share with you guys, 𝐾𝐨 is a heart medicine. It sits like a butterfly on your heart and opens up you back to here. When you go through each element, it always brings you to the interconnectedness, 1111, to your heart, right? So when you receive that here, you're opening yourself up. So through 𝐾𝐨, the intention is to connect with divine and to tune into what's blocking you from trusting, what's blocking you from why your soul is here to connect with the seen and unseen. We're going to be doing a Reiki initiation, and the intention, Reiki 1, is the intention to teach you Reiki on this day is for you to connect with yourself and to open up your gifts a little bit more, to fine tune your awareness, and also to have a tool you can take home with you to heal yourself and even to share with plants and with people in person, right? To deepen your relationship. And I teach it very elemental. Like I still deep root it to the traditions of 𝐦𝐤𝐤 and 𝐸𝐴𝐾, but I still do it in a way that's, different to the medicine that I know as well, to share with you, to pass over to you. We're going to go over the chakra systems and how that works with the elements, and which each element is connected to a chakra. We're going to go over the different activities to open your psychic abilities and abilities with divine. We're going to be eating delicious food that's going to help support you. And then we're also going to have a plant medicine ceremony close to the end. So this is all what's going to be weaving in this beautiful space, right? Be able to connect with the star family, the stars, the ancestors, the earth plane, what's above, below, and within, and to see and to actually hear from the indigenous gatekeepers, wisdom keepers. And they told me last time that I brought the Earth Dharma initiation here last week, and they said, there's more to share, and I want to give them space to share with you what they need to share. My job is just to hold space. I let them come through and share what they're meant to share for you. So this is Divine Dharma. This is what it's all about. There's so much more. We're going to be doing breath work as well, ceremony to open you up deeper. We're going to be doing integration. We're going to be doing connections, really tuning into ourselves as well, working with the fire, medicine fire, grandfather fire, and so much more. So I want to share that with you guys because this Divine Dharma is listening to the drum of your heart to connect with divine and to be with the gatekeepers and the holders of the lands to receive what you need to receive, to open your Dharma and to step into your truth of Dharma. What is Dharma? I talk about Earth Dharma. So why is this different to Earth Dharma? Earth Dharma is like for those who are in the space of readiness to go fully. And what I felt with the Earth Dharma when I was on the initiation, there was a group of people that maybe aren't ready yet, just yet, but they're still wanting to do it. So when they commit a little step further, it's like Earth Dharma is like taking a few steps, Divine Dharma is taking a step or two. And then it goes beyond anything. You might go further, even more. Who knows? There's no difference between the two. It just depends on what you align with. One obviously is human physical time is longer, but the one with the divine Dharma is still very potent as well. So that's divine Dharma. And then I want to share a gift with you guys as well, but I want to go over how to apply first. So applications are open right now. There's a little catch I'll share at the end. How to apply for divine Dharma. Shika, I'm so feeling called to it. I feel aligned with this. I feel aligned with working with the unseen of the indigenous. I feel aligned to just really connect with this aspect of myself and divine and Dharma is something I'm connected with, and everything you're sharing with it, with the drum of the heart and everything and the elements, it's just feeling good and go stepping into why my soul came here to do what it's meant to do and start that journey, or to go deeper into that journey, whatever it is. There's no timeline. It's just, I feel called to it. That's it. There's no logic. So what you'll do is you'll fill out the form, just like the retreat. Myself, I will go over it. I will tune in. I'll sit with your guides. You sit with my guides. I sit with the guides of the lands with every retreat as well. I forgot to mention that. And we decide, like, okay, are you ready for this? This is what's coming up, and this is what your soul wants to work on. And it might be stuff that your human's not even aware of yet. And they come in and they're just like, boom, this is what we have for you. There's the gifts that we want to give you to support you, to help you, to be here, to really bring you into the medicine that you're meant to see. And once I go over and I deep dive, and it's a full body yes for your soul and my soul and for all of us in tune in the circle of the fire, I then send you an email, and then you can hold your spot. Okay, there are limited spots for this because I want it to be intimate. And I already invited 3 souls, I think, out of 3 or 4. So we're almost halfway filled. So if this is something you're interested in, apply. Okay. Again, the difference with the retreats, if you're looking at retreats, it's still as potent. It's just a different intention here, right? It's more of, I say, training, because it's training yourself to heal yourself within the divine. That's really what it means. And in doing so, you awaken your Dharma. So the second little gift I want to give you guys is that, okay? Let me tell you something. So this retreat is offering energetic exchange training, is usually $33.33. However, until January 4th, I'm changing it and offering it, pay forwarding it to community so you can have access to it. And instead, it is going to be $28.88. Okay? So if this is something you're interested in, to do this space, this training, this retreat, this community coming together and really connecting with divine and trust, understanding that word, to allow you to have a more ease and flow, harmonized life. I want an easeful, harmonized life. To align with yourself, to let go of whatever is holding you. And again, we are working with the moon during this time. We are working with the moon energy during this time. All my retreats are during full moons and new moons. Okay. So that might be something I've had so many people who come during their birthday gift, and that's what they give themselves, which is cute. So that's an offering too that you can give to yourself. But if this is something you want to give, like, what's your intention of offering this to yourself, right? Think about that as well. So for that, you would have to apply and register before January 4th. There are payment plans for you as well. And again, you have till June is when we get to gather together. So you can fill out the form down below. It's going to be my link tree. I'm so excited for this, guys. Like, beyond. I just feel this deep drum when I tune into it. It's so potent. It's like this drum of love, drum of essence. Okay. Ooh, there's no sound. Okay, one second. Okay, you should be able to hear me now. Let me know, TikTok, if you guys can hear me. Sorry about that. I was like so into the thing. But if you want to apply, you could just apply in the link in my bio. Okay. Let's get into the last and final thing. This is an offering that is not in person. You can do it anywhere in the world. Excuse me. Anywhere in the world. You do not need to be in person. And I don't offer this often because for me, this is an opportunity for me to really go deep with people. I'm reopening this program after being closed for, I think, almost like over a year. And the reason why was for multiple things. One, I evolved. The program for me wasn't matching to what it described to be. So I closed it until I felt called. And recently it's like, time to open it again, time to shift it. And two, for me, I love to go deep with people, which means I don't want to have this program open all the time. I want to take my time to really deepen with you. And if you're interested in one-on-one, this is going to be for you. And again, it's a really beautiful offering that I'm going to be offering at the end of this as well. So if you're here and you're listening, you're going to offer and receive that. Okay. Okay. So the first thing that I will share is that this is a 3-month or 6-month program. Okay. For one-on-one. So 3 months or 6 months. What's the difference? I've been getting people like, Shika, I'm interested in 3, I'm in 4. Let me go into it with you. What is the Rebirth program? The Rebirth program is an opportunity to weave with ancient practices that are curated for yourself to rebirth within yourself. When I use the word rebirth, it means entering into the womb of yourself, entering into the sacral of yourself, the shamanic cave, and birthing what is meant to be birthed. This is an awakening. If you're someone who thinks that your life, you're not going to have to make decisions to change your life. You're going to be the same person. If you want to resist the ego, even for all my work. If you think I'm just going to heal you, she can heal me. Like, nah, I'm not your guide. If you want someone to guide you, 100%, I'm your support. But if you think that I'm going to just give you the false affirmations of I'm going to fix you and I'm going to do, and these are all the promises that you'll receive, I don't do that. Nah. That's not fair to me. That's not truthful to you. And if there's anyone that says, if you do this, you will receive blah, 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 BS, because everyone's different. And that isn't fair to that person, right? Because then you're putting pressure on yourself to have that result as well, right? And that's very masculine. We balance between the two, feminine and masculine. My masculine is sharing with you what the intention is and the logistics, but the feminine is weaving the creation of what we're going to create together in the space, right? So this Rebirth program allows you to sit with me bi-weekly for 1.5 hours. I don't do hour sessions. I tried to in the past when I first started. For me, it's so deep, and it's important for me to take you out and integrate you after such a deep, potent ceremony. I can sit with people, and my students have seen, I can sit with someone, I'm at this point in my journey where I can sit for 20 minutes with you and go deep with you in 20 to 15 minutes. What I could have done back in the day in 1 hour. Because of the practice I do with myself. And this is from what my awareness, I've seen it with training and everything. It's just, I can go deep with people, deeper at shorter time. So for me to really go deep in the understanding the alchemy of this Rebirth program, the energy of this Rebirth program, it doesn't make sense for me to do 1 hour with you. I want to do 1.5 hours. We want to go deep. I would even do 2 hours. 1.5 hours feels good. Okay. So during this 1.5 hours, what can you receive? We do ancient practices such as somatic, breath work. Sometimes I give you medicines to work with during the time that we work together to work with that spirit of medicine. So I weave that if a plant spirit comes to me, I will share it with you, either a herbal spirit plant that you can work with. That's going to help with maybe grief or shame, or to move in certain energies, hormonal balance. I'll just create that for you. So that's beautiful that I get to bring those spaces. I also go over deep practices of what your intention is. So like you guys know, and I've mentioned, I have a vast amount of different practices, but my biggest thing is bringing people to remember themselves through the wisdom of the ancestors and through the elements, right? So for me, if that's womb work, I have many years in that, and somatic healing and womb support, right? If that is ancestral work, if that's past life, if that's inner child, if that's, you share with me where you want to go, we go there together, and I just hold space for you and guide you into that. You step in forward, okay? So this is an awakening of ancient practices to receive this medicine and healing for you. Your intention for you might be to heal a trauma. For you, it might be to shift your life. For you, it might be to step into a new frequency. Your intention is anything. This is for anyone. It's not just for healers. It's for anyone. But the biggest thing is for people who are ready to really see themselves and know that when you start doing that, around you changes. Right? So you have to receive that, because what happens if we do this healing, we go back to the same environment, the same habits, we re-traumatize ourselves. We put ourselves back into those spaces, right? And I'm just saying that, in the past, I've had to have clients, and I've done this for people. I'm just just to show you what type of teacher I am. I've had times where I had to tell people and be like, nah, okay, you have to stop working with me. You're not showing up for yourself. And I have to be that good friend that's like, hey, I love you, But this is a boundary. You got to show up for you. I can't heal you. I can't fix you. I'm not your savior. And I'm not going to be the villain either. And I'm not going to be the victim. We're both not going to be that. We're going to hold ourselves accountable to this healing. And we're going to be your biggest cheerleader. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. The roundness is going to be your biggest cheerleader. We're going to go deeper than your human can't even fathom. It might not even make logical sense. But so much of your human life is shifting within and after. I've had people that have messaged me 6 months after a 6-month container. 6 months later, Shika, oh my God, things are still happening. A year later, Shika, things are still happening. Because so much is lifted and it integrates. I'm still receiving healing that I've received at healing ceremonies years ago. Still here because my body's ready to receive it. And there's more there that's for me. And it's giving me a little bit of doo-doo over here. A little bit, not doo-doo, but a little bit of, sparkle, sprinkle here. So, that is the Rebirth program. So you have 3 months. 3 months is a great container for those who maybe they're not sure if they need the 6 months. If they feel like they're just starting out, maybe you've recently were in a container and you want something to support you and help you integrate. Maybe you're in a journey where you're just like, I'm not sure. Then this might be supportive for you. Okay. The 6 months is for people who are like full in. Shika, I'm committed. My whole this, I'm ready. I'm tired of being the victim. I'm tired of waiting for someone to change and to save me because no one's going to save me. No one's going to save you. I'm not going to save you. Right? But I'm ready to be accountable. I'm ready to heal myself. I'm so ready for my highest timeline. I'm ready to birth into that shamanic cave that is here for me and derive and come up like a lily pad. Lilies, they're birthed in the swamp, the darkness, all the things, they're like all that aspect. They're moving through so much. And through all that swampiness, they still survive. And they come to the surface as this beautiful lily. Right? Look at a lily's life spot. That is the rebirth. The lily is a rebirth. That is the essence of its nature. Right? So ask yourself, what do you want to seed? What is seeding when you hear this program? What am I calling in? How am I wanting to be supported? Because the more that you share with me what's coming up, the more I can go in. For me to assume things and just put all the reality on, I'm second, this is what I'm feeling, that's I will give guidance. And I always, if you've worked with me, I always ask, are you okay with me sharing what I want to share with you? Because sometimes people don't want to listen to it. Some people just want to be heard, and that's cool. Some people just want to integrate, and that's cool too. So every person I work with the Rebirth program, there's not a formula. That's not how I work. Every person's different. I might be doing womb healing with one person. I might be doing ancestral healing with one person. I might be doing inner child healing. I might be helping someone leave a toxic relationship. Every person is different, right? I might be just helping you heal your physical body, right? Every person's different. So you tell me, what is your body telling you? You tell me what your heart is telling you. You tell me what is your essence, your soul telling you? And then we go from there. We birth into that like a lily. We put the seed in the swamp and we let it emerge up into the surface, and we don't wait. We don't look at the swamp waiting for it to emerge. It emerges when it emerges, and we let it see. But so much is going to be happening because the lily doesn't see how it's growing. It doesn't know when it's coming up. But when it does, it's birthed into the sun and to the light. That's you. So that is the Rebirth program. I'm only taking, I believe, last time I checked, I only have one spot for each one available. However, if you apply, you can still apply and be on the waiting list, which means that you can still, I can put you for later on as well. And that's what I'm starting to do for 2024. So if you feel like you want to start the year with this healing and this work, that's great. If you feel like, oh my God, this would be great for me in the spring, you let me know what's feeling good for you. We work it out. That's how I work. So, and then when the spots are filled, I close it and then I reopen it when Spirit tells me to. So right now, Spirit's like, open it up. We need some people to rebirth and submerge from the swamp into the lily. Okay, so how you apply, you're going to fill the form down below. Okay, fill it with all your heart. Share with me all your intention. Go deep with me. I want to walk with you and see everything you're sharing with me here. Okay, everything I share, and I listen to it through my heart. Once I've sit with it and it's a full body, what I do is my team or myself will send you, most likely my team will send you an invitation for us to have a call. It's a 30-minute call. This is a ceremony. This is our first ceremony together. The intention of this call is to see how I can support you deeper and to really tune into what's coming up, because from the application to our call, so much will shift. Trust me, so much will shift. So, excuse me. Let me sip my tea. Once you're done that, I will let you know how to hold your spot. We'll figure out what time is best for you. I work Monday to Friday with my healings. Weekends for me work best for me to reset because my loved ones, that's their schedule too. And that's what works well for me. And, some days I have less depending, but I work it out, with my people. Like, we see what works out. We'll make it work out what time works best for you. Okay. So you let me know in the application what is the best time. Okay. So these are the offerings. Now, Shika, what if I'm not ready for that, but I still want to have an experience? I do have courses. I don't talk about this. I honestly am people are always like, Shika, why don't you talk about this? I'm like, I have all these things. I don't talk about it. So if this is something you want to introduce, you want something more self-paced, I got courses for you guys. They're on my link tree. We have the citrine, we have the quartz, we have the lapis, quartz as well. We have so many different workshops I've done live, and I'm now creating them as a course. And some of them are throat chakra, sacral, inner child healing, phoenix, like there's different things. So you can go over there and you can start something to start off the year if you'd like. And that's really, really great too. So you can sign up for that down below. It's through Thinkific, and you can get it right away, which is awesome. So the one thing I will share with you guys is the Facebook groups are not applicable anymore. I'm just making them as a course. So if you add yourself to the Facebook group, just like I've been letting people know, like it's just a course. So you just do it at your own pace. You still do the practices on your own, but it's a course aspect. So what else do I want to share? Okay, so Rebirth. Last thing I want to share with you guys. Let me just make sure that I have it right because I wrote it down. And your girl needs to make sure that she has it right. Do you guys have any questions? Pardon me. Do you have any questions? What questions do you have? If you guys have questions as well, please let your girl know. What are the questions that you have? How are you feeling receiving it? Is there maybe an offering you're like, ooh, Shika, like I'm really feeling this. This feels really good. Please let me know. I'm just going to make sure I go over all the offerings with you guys because Rebirth, there was one other offering I wrote down that Spirit told me to offer to you guys. And I want to make sure I have it. Okay, so for the Rebirth program, for the 3 months or the 6 months until January 12th, I am offering January 12th, so it is different because you have to do your application call and like that doesn't give you enough time for us to connect. So I want to extend it to January 12th. You get 20% off the energetic exchange, okay? Which will be about $600 to $1,200 that you save off the energetic exchange. That is huge. I haven't offered this. Reason why, again, is to allow people to have access to this. More people, to reach more people. So this is something that will be till January 12th. You have to apply and register by then to hold your spot. And again, there's one spot each. But what I will do is if you want to do it and you want to register within that time for later on, let me know what works best for you when you want to work together. And I will still offer this 20% off to you. I will still offer it to you. Because for me, it just aligns to support you. If it feels aligned right now, you're like, Shika, I want to do it in spring, then we do it. I want to do it in summer, we do it. Okay? But we work it out that works best for you. Okay? Any questions before we get into it? And I'm going to do a little recap with you guys on how to support you. Again, best way to stay connected with all the offerings, these ones as well as who knows the future. Right now, it feels really good with these offerings for next year, to be honest. But who knows? Spirit, you're in charge. I don't know. So if you want to stay connected with just updates and everything, what's going on, if maybe you forget, sometimes I forget, and I always like to subscribe to some of the people I really care about and really want to know what's going on in their world, you can go to the newsletter down below and add yourself to the email list. Best way to just know all the things. And sometimes I offer things only to email list as well, or sometimes downloads that come up and I just post it on email list. So this is a great way to be supported. I just saw birds. They're so sweet. So yeah, let's do a little recap. So Ancestral Retreat, these are all the offerings I'm offering, okay? So Ancestral Retreat, which is the goddess retreat that's happening on March 20th to the 27th. Ancestral Retreat, the 20th to the 27th as well. I am offering spots, limited spots right now till January 4th, 2222. Okay, this is offering to allow community to access this retreat. So you can apply, fill out the form. It's all in the link tree. The second thing is Divine Dharma training that's happening on June 16th to the 24th. And that one is until January 4th, you get access to this exchange for $28.88. Usually it's $33.33. So you'll get access to it and be able to receive it. All you have to do is apply down below again and for TikTok, you guys can go to the link in the bio. And lastly is the Rebirth program, which you guys get 20% off, 3 months or the 6 months. And remember, this is still applicable for the rebirths only for this program, and that's till January 12th that you can apply. If you apply and hold your spot before January 12th or by that time, you can still get that 20% off if you end up doing it spring or summer. Okay, I'm gonna pay that forward to you. If this is like still aligned and in your timeline, it's like, yeah, I want to do it then. That's great. That we can work out for you. Okay, and then once you apply, just keep an eye out for your email. All those who feel aligned, my team will get back to you and let you know. And we go on the venture together. It's so exciting. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this hangout. I know it was much longer than expected, but for me, it's important for me to go deep. I originally was going to do it a couple days ago. I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. The weather, I'm feeling good. And I was just like picking up. We're feeling amazing. So I just feel like I'm like back into it and well rested. And I cannot wait to get to hug you guys in person and to connect with you and to be with you and to be in ceremony. It's my favorite thing in the world. And just laugh and have a good time and cry and all the things. And it's just going to be so great to be in community. And this is the future of the world, is not doing it alone. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that. There's some personal things that are happening and community things that are happening behind the scenes that I cannot wait to share with you guys when the time is right. But for now, that's a lot of beautiful things. So share this video with anyone that you feel it calls to. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, put notification, but like, it does help a lot because YouTube is like, so like it helps a lot. Subscribe, put notification bells, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I can't wait to read your applications. I love you so much. I'm sending you the deepest love, ease, blessings, and so much more, and sunlight and gratitude and all the things, abundance to you. Bye.